So then it's time to get serious once more. It's finals day here at round 2 of the Rotax Max Euro Challenge at the Sette Laghi circuit, Castelletto in Italy. The build-up has been done from Monday earlier in the week. All the practice, all the testing, Friday qualifying, Saturday heats, and now, of course, it's going to be Sunday and finals day. We've had the pre-final races, which has given us a few points scored for the championship contenders. Now, these 34 drivers are going to look for a few more points here today as the countdown is nearly with us. We've got around about 20 seconds. The yellow light flashes down on the start-finish line. All drivers are now prepared, looking right towards the back, 33rd and 34th on the grid. And this is the way the grid lines up for the final race of the juniors from the weekend. It's going to be the youngster Dean McDonald there in kart number 3. He's been ecstatically quick all weekend. He's won his heats, he's won the pre-final, and he now starts this final from pole position with alongside him his teammate Finn Keneally, the first of those to get away as he heads down towards turn number 1. Alongside on the second row, 2 drivers we also heard from with Chris on the grid was Axel Charpentier and of course Scott Simmons, who lines up alongside in kart number 46. Back to row 3 is going to be Alex Quinn, another man to watch out for, definitely as well, with him being on the inside line down towards turn number 1. He's got Jean-Baptiste Simonauer to start alongside. Back on row 4 is going to be Jonathan Hoggard and Kian Dewis from 31st on the grid in the pre-final up to 8th place. What can he do from this position? Watch out for that youngster on the outside of row number 4. Row 5 then sees our championship leader head into round 2, Jack McCarthy, and Tom Canning starts alongside. Back to row 6 is Padana Manang, who was a lot higher up for the pre-final, but he's got work to do in this final after dropping down throughout that earlier race. Alongside him is going to be the Mexican Manuel Solomon. To row 7 is Kenzo Ertz and Javier Gonzalez, the Spaniard. Row 8 sees the likes of Ayrton Simmons and Zach Falk in the mix as well. Row 9, the likely pairing of Tom Gamble and Jordan Brown-Nutley, and inside the top 20, row 10 for Kieran Ragg and Laurie Lepper is also on that same row. To row 11 we see Dzina Slavinsky and Nicholas Scholl. Row 12 lines up with Lucas Dunner and Mark Kimber. Row 13 is Tamer Kemensachi and Luke Ibanez. Row 14 is going to be Ida Cohen and Enzo Valiente. Row 15 inside the top 30 for Adam Ateki. Watch out for the green machine of Adam, who's been quick on the heats day on Saturday. What can he do from 29th on the grid? He's got Jack Spinelli for company on row 15. Row 16 then sees Ollie Caldwell and Louis Henkefend, both in dramas through the pre-finals. And then to the final row, row 17 is going to be Ollie York and Killen Meyer to round out the 34 starters for the juniors. 14 laps in prospect. The karts now finally get themselves towards the end of this second warm-up lap, and now the formation starts to build.
The formation starts to build, and the tension starts to build even more. This is going to be such an interesting way that this is going to play out, with the teammates actually on the front row together rather than line astern, first and third, which obviously gives them that opportunity to stay line astern as they turn right into turn 1. But they are coming down onto the start-finish straight. Are we going to get the red lights going out? No. Unfortunately, we have a false start called there. I told you, Matt, you tempted fate earlier this morning. That's now another false start. Not been too many though, has there, Matt? But no, it was felt that was not bunched enough to be given the green light.
There's not been that many this weekend, but there's been quite a few today with the 4 races we've had. There's been, in fact, more than that, actually, 5 races we've had. I think there's been about 3 false starts, and they've all come in the pre-final. One didn't get that was DD2, and this one as well has had a false start. So they were spoken to early on in the weekend. They'd have been spoken to before this race got underway by our clerk of the course, Thomas Liner. But as of yet, there's a few still out of position there, just to try to jump the start when they shouldn't be. So they'll try for a second time. They'll have to slow themselves down now through the sequence of hairpins through turns number 9, which they now work their way through, and of course on towards turn number 10. The 2 teammates come side by side, and I think probably the thing here is to remember Finn Keneally will try his best to get in behind his teammate Dean McDonald, because they don't want Axel Charpentier to be in the mix, because Axel will go for a move if he has to, because he's not a teammate to Dean McDonald. We've had the 2 teammates together for most of the weekend. This is a different story. As we said, they're side by side on that front row. Here we go, let's take 2.
Yeah, they look like they're nicely, tightly bunched this time. They go around the right-hander. They're going to stay that way. They're in their lines, and the lights are off. And as long as we don't get given on, there's a couple that bump and bore a little bit heading down into that turn number 1. We'll have to see which ones have lost out in that melee at the start. One driver that hasn't is... Well, actually, the teammates have switched around, so it's Finn Keneally that's into the lead. Apologies, I had to just quickly look because there was so much going on already. So Finn Keneally has jumped ahead of Dean McDonald at the moment, but so they are line astern, but no disrespect, the other way round to what I was expecting.
Yep, they need to stick together though, because Finn Keneally, as you said, to the front of this field. The junior race is now underway and 14 laps ahead of the drivers. We've got Axel Charpentier third, a change for fourth place though, as Jean-Baptiste Simonal goes right down the inside of Alex Quinn at turn number 9. He then fights back in towards the second of the hairpins down at turn 10, and it's going to be a big gap now, side by side in towards turn 11, and Alex Quinn has got the job done. He jumps into fourth place. It's going to be down to fifth for Jean-Baptiste Simonal across the line, and then behind that in sixth place is going to be the kart of Scott Simmons, who's dropped down from row number 2, fourth place on the grid. He's now got work to do with the rest of the bunch, now filing in towards turn 2. A lot of bumping and boring going on lower down the field there. Manuel Sullivan gets pushed wide as 73 tries to stick the nose up the inside, which is Kenzo Arts, and he's managed to get through there. So a change a little bit lower down in what's going to be 8th and 9th places, and Cian Dewis hasn't made the best of start. He's about where he started, but down to 9th place, in fact back up to 8th at sector 1.
Yeah, so as we expected, it's all back and forth all over the place, and we need to keep an eye at a couple of those from the back to see where they're able to get to. Adam Mateki, for example, is one that definitely will expect to move on up. Look at that at the front. It is, and in fact, Axel Charpentier has managed to get up into second place, but glued to the back of them. That's why I stopped for a second. Going into turn number 11 is that Dean McDonald just was so tight to him that you could see both carts just moving around into that left-hander of turn number 11. So Dean McDonald from pole position is currently running in third position. His teammates out at front, so it's a bit of an Axel Charpentier sandwich at the moment, but we've still got 12 laps remaining, so there's an awful lot that can and will happen at the moment. As we look a bit further back, another great battle is the 4th and 5th. You mentioned it a minute ago. Alex Quinn and Jean-Baptiste Simonal, they just keep going backwards and forwards. They're glued together. They're just off of the front 3, but it's just as exciting a tussle as the leaders come back towards us, heading towards this turn number 11 again. It is still Finn Keneally holding off Axel Charpentier. Dean McDonald glued to the back of Axel Charpentier as they come through to complete their third lap.
And Finn Keneally this time has not got his teammate for company, so it means Axel Charpentier, who will try and go for a move down at turn number 2. He can't quite get it done there, so he sits in the tow as they work their way through turns 3, 4, and on towards the back straight at turn number 5. Axel Charpentier has got some tremendous speed at the minute. He's all over the back of Finn Keneally down the back straight. What can he do about a move down in towards turn 6? Nothing at the minute. And of course he's got to be wary about the man who sits in third place, Dean McDonald. If he does try for a move, and Dean then of course counter-attacks and tries to go for it as well, Axel Charpentier could be out of second place. But those three are together at the minute. Watch out for 4th and 5th. As Chris said, they're having a good race of their own. And there goes Dean McDonald for a move for second place down the inside line on Axel Charpentier. And Dean now in the AIM Motorsport car gets himself back on to the second step of the podium. He works his way across the line for another time. We've got 10 laps to go. Finn Keneally leads by 0.3 of a second. Axel Charpentier is now third. Alex Quinn is fourth. Fifth place is going to be Jean-Baptiste Simonal. But look at this from Axel Charpentier. He's been passed, but he wants that place back as quickly as possible.
He's not hanging about, is he? He's not going to wait. Let's just go there. We obviously had a moment that someone went off at turn number 5 with a tired cart under the barrier basically there, but the driver's out and absolutely fine. Unfortunate incident there, but still out in the lead is Finn Keneally. Job 1 has been done by Dean McDonald. He's got himself back into that second position. Job 2 is to close down onto his teammate and see if he can wrestle that lead away from him. But to be honest with you, he's not being given the opportunity to do that by Axel Charpentier. Great performance by Axel. And then just behind, we have had a change again. So, oh no, sorry, I was looking another couple of carts back. That's how many fights are taking place in this match. I just love how many duels are going on throughout the entire grid.
Yeah, there's lots to watch out for. 34 cars on track, a few less now after the incidents down at turn number 5, but there is some great racing from the juniors as ever, and it's hot stuff towards the front as well, with Finn Keneally, Dean McDonald and still Axel Charpentier are top 3. Down the straight they go in towards turn number 6, and we'll try and watch out to see what else happens a little bit lower down. Still Alex Quinn in 4th place, Jean-Baptiste Simonal there in 5th place, and look at this, Axel Charpentier again, he's glued to the back somehow of Dean McDonald. He's not going to let him get away, and it's great to have Finn Keneally up front as well for the first first time this year, Finn is leading the race and he's doing a great job about it. Just gradually now opening up that gap between himself and his teammate as they work their way on to what's going to be the 7th lap of the race. So what's Axel Charpentier now? What can he do about a move? Possibly down at turn number 2. He gets a good run through turn 1. He can't quite get down the inside at turn 2 because Dean McDonald has the door shut there. He keeps him behind for another time. But Axel Charpentier, one of the stars of the weekend so far.
I tell you what, those three need to be aware because Alex Quinn and Jean-Baptiste Semenauer are closing in. They're running 4th and 5th, largely line astern most of the time, but definitely that gap between 3rd and 4th, Alex Charpentier back to Alex Quinn, that is getting smaller because the fight is so alive between these front three. It's just got to be slowing them down. I say the front three. Finn Keneally's not really being put under pressure at the moment. Dean McDonald's needing to be more aware of Axel Charpentier than he is to try and make a move, but there's no question it is giving the opportunity to Alex Quinn to close in. They come through to complete their 7th lap, and that puts us half race distance, and already we've had so much action, it is absolutely mind-blowing. And they come through the first of the 2 complexes. They want to make sure they're carrying that speed and momentum through the 2nd complex of turns 4 and 5 onto this long back straight. Interestingly, the 6th position one, Cian Dewis, he's got himself up to 6th and he's now trying to close in on Jean-Baptiste Semenauer, and I would say that he is doing exactly that.
Yeah, it's just calmed down slightly within this race, so it means the top 6 are now going to be a fight for the lead because the 3 here just bunching themselves together. Finn Keneally, Dean McDonald, and of course the man in 3rd, Axel Charpentier, which then means Alex Quinn, Jean-Baptiste Semenauer, and as you mentioned, Cian Dewis are now going to be right with this fight up front. So this is fantastic to see as the carts come through with now 6 laps remaining on this race. They work their way down towards turn 1. Another one to watch out for again, Adam Ateki. What a race from 29th on the grid. He now finds himself into 14th place. So this youngster again is one to watch out for in the future races. As back to 2nd place, Axel Charpentier gets a fantastic run through turns 4 and 5. Heads down the back straight. What can he do about a move on, of course, the man in 2nd, Dean McDonald? Nothing for the time being. But Axel Charpentier, he'll leave it as late as possible to try for a move. But at the minute, it's being bulked by those 2 ahead because he can't seem to get his way through. And he's probably getting a little bit frustrated as down the inside now goes Finn Keneally's teammate. And Axel Charpentier follows through as well. So Dean McDonald to 1st, 2nd for Axel. And Finn Keneally in the space of that 1 corner now drops down to the final step of that podium.
Yeah, that was incredibly tight into the first of the 2 hairpins, and Dean McDonald somehow gets himself through. The only frustrating thing from the teammates' perspective, we saw how close they are from when they put themselves up over the... once they were getting themselves in the car, and we got a change again for the lead there. So Axel Charpentier has managed to sneak past Dean McDonald as they came into turn number 2. That was incredible, and it means that the teammates are line astern again. Are they going to be able to work against Axel Charpentier? Charpentier has that lead, but I'll tell you what, I'd be really nervous in that place with those 2 teammates gunning for you behind, knowing that they're close enough to work together.
A move just being made for 5th place as well as Cian Dewis goes straight through down the inside line to get himself up into 5th place now. So Cian is on the charge as well. We've had a black and white warning flag for 75, which is Enzo Valiante. So he's received that time round. So not the best of drivings from Enzo for the time being. But the top 3 work their way for another time. Here comes the challenge from Finn Keneally. He works his way down towards turn 1, not quite towards the inside line there on his teammate Dean McDonald. He'll then try and think about a move at turn 2 as well. But Finn Keneally can't quite get there for the time being. A great fight up front, which now involves 4 karts in this race because Alex Quinn has clawed himself onto the tail of those 3, and he's going to be one to watch out for. He's just off the podium at the minute, but with 4 laps or just under 4 laps to go, he is clawing himself quicker and quicker towards the front, and the next man in the train is number 20 from near enough the back once again. Cian Dewis, of course, from the pre-final. He was 8th on the grid for this one, and now he finds himself 5th place and another potential podium finisher and get his way past these 4 ahead.
And that's going to be easier said than done. I mean, I was just about to remark that how impressive that Alex Quinn has managed to shake off the attentions of what was originally Jean-Baptiste Semenauer, and he's closed in on these 4 at the front. Oh, slightly wide there from Cian Dewis as they came round the final corner onto the start-finish straight, but I don't think it did too much harm there. Oh, it has. I was wrong. I think he's just been passed there. He has indeed. So Jean-Baptiste Semenauer was able to take more speed through that first corner into turn 2, just where Cian Dewis just ran a little bit wide, just over the rumble strip on the exit of the final turn 12. And heading down towards turn 7, and we've got a move being made. That's Alex Quinn has got himself up into 3rd position, and just trying to see exactly who is in the lead at the moment. It is Dean McDonald has the lead, and is that Finn Keneally in 2nd, Alex Quinn in 3rd, and all of a sudden Axel Charpentier down to 4th. That's how quickly it can change.
Slight mistake there as well from Alex Quinn through the hairpin, which means he drops a few kart lengths now back from the top 2. It means the teammates of Dean McDonald and Finn Keneally are still your top 2 in this race. And here comes Axel Charpentier for a move at turn 2, down the inside of Alex Quinn, and he gets the job done. Fantastic driving from Axel Charpentier, but again it means the top 2 are just about breaking away, and that's what the guys behind do not want to see, because as soon as they've done that this weekend, they've managed to pull away, but you can guarantee it's not going to finish in this order, because Finn Keneally wants the win. He wants this final win of the weekend. He needs to do well in the championship, and Dean McDonald is going to be a tough opposition to get past as they work their way in towards the hairpin at turn number 9. There's a move down the inside there from Cian Jewis to get through on Alex Quinn, so Cian is not done with this race just yet. There's more defending happening down at turn number 10, and now let's see what Axel Charpentier can do in 3rd place. He's on the money here. He's going very quickly through turns 11 and 12, and we're about to head on to the last lap of the race, and Finn Keneally points his finger to Dean McDonald and says, come on, let's go, we need to get this one won.
That move was actually not by Cian Jewis. Cian Jewis is still down in 6th. It was a great performance by Jean-Baptiste Simonauer. He was the one that managed to get past Alex Quinn. Cian Jewis is still all over the back of them. Obviously they're identical looking karts, but both of them performing fabulously. The teammates at the front, Dean McDonald just about has the lead, but my goodness, Finn Keneally, what a good job that they trust each other implicitly as drivers, as people, because they are so close together. This is going to be incredible. They've managed to get rid of Axel Charpentier in the time being, but look at this as they head down towards turn number 10, the final of the hairpins, and Axel Charpentier's got him on the inside of Finn Keneally going into the penultimate corner. He's going to have to try and ride it out, but Axel Charpentier dives up the inside of Finn Keneally. A great victory for Dean McDonald, but I tell you what, he's probably going to be disappointed that his teammate has just lost out. Oh, we've got a spinner on the final corner here. Car number 8 has just gone round. That's Jack McCarthy. Goodness me, just on the final corner, lost out. What an incredible race all the way down. And Dean McDonald was really made to work phenomenally hard for that. And I tell you what I'm really impressed about is we have seen Dean McDonald dominate in the heats yesterday from the front. We saw him perform with his teammate from the front in the pre-final to this afternoon in the grand final. We have seen racecraft. He had to work incredibly hard for that, and he managed to get himself out to the front. In 2nd position, Axel Charpentier. Then Dean's teammate Finn Keneally in 3rd. 4th was Jean-Baptiste Simonauer in the Strawberry Racing car, just ahead of his teammate Cian Jewis. In 6th position, Alex Quinn, Scott Simmons 7th, Padrana Manang and Kenzo Arts and Giannis Slavinsky round out the top 10. Great performance by kart 25, Adam Ateki, had to come up from a long way down the grid. Nicholas Scholl in 12th, 13th Zach Folk, 14th was Oliver York. Ayrton Simmons, kart number 27, comes back in 15th position. Jack McCarthy with that spin on the final corner drops down to 16th position. He's going to be devastated with that. 17th position was Manuel Suleiman, Tom Gamble 18th, Kieran Ragg 19th, Luke Ibanez 20th. In 21st position was Louis Headconfined, Mark Kimber 22nd, Jack Spinola, Enzo Valente, Taimur Kurmanchari, Chachi, Tom Canning in 26th, Ollie Caldwell, Killian Meir, Laurie Lepper, Ido Cohen in 30th, 31st was Lucas Donaire, and in 32nd, the final finisher, Jordan Brown Nutley. Unfortunately, Javier Gonzalez and Jonathan Hoggard did not manage to finish that race. And the championship points, so we are able to see that Axel Charpentier is in the lead of that, but only by 2 points, just ahead of Cian Jewis, still in 2nd position. Dean McDonald in 3rd, so he's going to be very pleased with that. He has moved up. Jack McCarthy unfortunately came here in the lead and is now down in 4th position. But look how close those points are. Alex Quinn in 5th, still that he loves that number 5. He's got it on his kart. He was that 5th on the grid. He's 5th in the championship. And Finn Keneally, Dean's teammate, who had a very exciting race there, is 6th in the championship points with 140 points, and Scott Simmons, Zach Folk, Jonathan Hoggard, and rounding out the top 10 in the championship is Tom Canning.